Welcome to Rock School Proprietor Podcast. Earlier this year, the music education community lost Greg Hipskind, founder of QC Rock Academy. For those who knew him, Greg was a pillar in his community who shaped thousands of lives through his teaching, his student band program, and community involvement. Today, Mandy and I are reflecting on what made Greg's work so impactful and what it means to build a lasting legacy with a music school. This episode is a little different and may not include a roadmap or steps you can apply in your business, because I just don't think that creating a legacy is that simple. With this episode, Mandy and I are reflecting on Greg's work and how he ran a school that genuinely shaped people's lives. If you didn't know Greg, or you're a newer listener, go back and listen to episode 26 to really understand what an amazing person, teacher, and community leader he was. As you listen, we invite you to think about your own legacy and what you're building beyond just a business. Welcome to Rock School Proprietor Podcast. My name's John Kazicki.
And I'm Mandy York.
And it's good to see you, Mandy. We have had a couple weeks off from the two of us talking. Last week, I was at the NAMM show. As we're recording this right now, I was at the NAMM show to speak, which was really fun.
Yeah, so exciting for you. I love it.
I got to meet a bunch. I met like a decent amount of people who have been on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Met some people who I know listen to the podcast, met people who are in the music lesson world at the NAMM convention. So overall, it was a really good experience. I got to do the quick shout outs, right? Of our guests. Jenny Townsend from the Music Compound. She's been on the podcast. Eric Branner from Fonz and Make Music. He was there and he's been on the podcast. All of these people, go listen to their episodes. Mike Grande from Rock Out Loud and Card Chords. He's been on the podcast 3 times. And let me tell you, meeting Mike in person. Now I know when he was on the podcast, I did those interviews and you weren't part of those interviews. Mike's got a huge personality. And I think that comes across in the podcasts, but man, in person, it even larger. He was awesome.
Fun.
Rob Spampinato from Rob's School of Music was there. We got to get him back on the podcast. Sam LaLouche from Opus One and his team, all of those people had a wonderful time with, and overall, great experience at NAMM. So
awesome. That's so cool that you got to go speak.
Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Sweet.
It was fun. Now, as fun as that was, shifting gears drastically to what we were going to talk about today, man, where do I start? One of our podcast guests from very early on, like episode 26, Greg Hipskind from QC Rock Academy, he passed away earlier this month, or I guess it was the very beginning of January. And Greg and I felt a really strong connection with Greg from first meeting him years and years and years ago, because he and I both run rock schools. We do very similar things, and we just clicked, we just connected. And we would talk back and forth. We talked about it would be great if he brought his student bands on tour with my student bands, and we had crazy plans at one point. But yeah, beginning in January, I actually missed a phone call from another music school friend and he was calling to tell me that Greg passed away unexpectedly. And I don't want to make this really a memorialization episode.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll sort of get to what I'd like to talk about, more about the legacy that Greg left and how I think that's a great example for, Greg set an amazing example
Oh, yeah.
for us as music school owners to make an incredible impact in our community with students and leave this lasting legacy that kind of supersedes us as, the people running the schools.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
I don't know.
Definitely.
When we talked, like, I know you didn't know Greg the same way I did, but you met him when we interviewed him on the podcast.
Mhm.
You had mentioned to me before we started recording, he made a point of when he was coming through Michigan this past summer, he made a point of meeting up with us,
Yeah.
which is pretty big.
Yes, it was super cool of him to do that. It's
Mhm.
neat.
What was your impression of Greg? Because I think I just want to understand your impression so I can draw comparisons to like what I've seen in his school.
Mhm. No, I mean, he definitely left an impression on me after our podcast interview. He
Mhm.
was just so infectious and passionate. He made me smile, and I was so impressed with all of the things he was doing in his school, right? That was what was really inspiring, the way he just made things happen, bringing in, musicians to come
Right,
talk to his
touring
kids,
artists.
taking his kids on tour,
Mhm.
the number of performances that he had his kids doing every year,
Yeah.
He was really getting them out there, really doing. He was like a mover and a shaker, and it was
Yeah,
super cool to talk to him.
I don't remember the number of performances that he did with his students, and we're talking like full band performances, singing the national anthem at sporting events, like paid gigs too. He would do paid
Yeah,
gigs with his
yeah.
students. I wanna say when we talked to him, the number that he mentioned was somewhere like, I don't like 70 some performances that year.
Yeah.
It
I was
was
gonna say
crazy.
80 something. It was high. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was very
significant.
surprising when he threw that out. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I love talking to him because, I don't run a rock school, but, we're out here, like, teaching the kids, running the studios. That was one thing about him. I think he was still teaching quite a bit,
A lot.
you know?
Yeah, in fact,
Yes.
I had some conversation with him and then some texting back and forth, and, like, it was right before Christmas. He was at the time, I think he was repainting and putting new carpet in the studio, and but I think the previous conversation that we had, he was still saying like, "Yeah, I'm teaching this much, and I've like, yeah, the new students, I'm not taking them on anymore." He just loved it though.
Yeah. Mhm.
He loved being in there with the students, with the bands, and in private lessons.
Yeah.
And like I could see, and probably sharing too much right now because this is maybe more personal. I could see him struggling in our conversations with how much time he's spending teaching and like the push and pull between like his family time and
Mhm.
like the teaching time. It, and I think we all struggle with that. But it in my mind, that's this real testament to how dedicated he was, like, on a level that's, like, just below his family, right?
Mhm.
He was that dedicated to his school and to his students and to everything that he was doing.
Mhm.
That's something.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I remember being able to relate to him on that note that, I'm in the classroom a lot. That's what I really like to do.
Mhm.
And that inner struggle of like, you don't want to give up teaching, but you're also running the business and finding
Right.
balance. We all go through that, but he really did have that passion for being with the students and in the teaching space.
So, what yeah, and I mentioned, like, I don't know if I want this like, we can't sit here and memorialize Greg the whole
No,
time.
right,
I
right.
mean, we could,
Mhm.
but what it really got me thinking about, because man, I'll tell you, the week following this news and even longer, my my thoughts went to things like, I mean, first, how my school is so similar to Greg's, and like I have, I mean, I love being there. I love being involved with the students and like what we're doing. But I started thinking like, man, have I done what I need to do to set up my school? Like if something happened to me, like could it go on? Have I, and this is a whole separate thing, but have I put in place like the things I need with my staff and like even my family, that they would know how to unpackage everything
Right.
I do if I couldn't do it. It's like, so, and those, I mean, those are really more kind of like logistical things, but what Greg did with his school, I think it transcends just him making a living from his school, from doing what he loved and providing jobs for fellow musicians and his staff. Like he really created this lasting legacy with his school. And, you had mentioned to me before we got on that you aren't really doing social media right now. So you didn't, well, I mean, after I told you, I think it sounds like you went and looked on social media, but
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks after this, I mean, I kept seeing on my social media feed news stories about Greg from like Iowa news stations, radio station stories, venues, just like so many for like a couple of weeks. That's amazing,
Yeah.
right?
It was it was really something to, I hear the news and then I did. I saw the same thing, all those news stories and the outpouring from the community. He left a serious impression in that community.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, you talked about the logistical things of, can my studio go on without me being there? But more importantly, like, what are you doing now in the lives of all of these people that is going to last, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
These people, they're going to remember Greg for the rest of their lives, and what he did. That's so incredible. It's, if I could say, something I've thought about a little bit lately, just reading the news and being the state of our country right now, without going into detail, right?
Yeah.
It's tough times, right? And we all have different emotions and feelings about it. And I feel like when I'm in my studio and teaching and working with these families, like at least that space is one of like joy and peace and community.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we talked about a lot with Greg about, was culture and community.
Yes.
So right now, that's what we're doing and focusing on. That helps me get through the day. And what a huge community and so much joy that he spread. So that's the other side of it, right?
Right.
I think like the logistical piece, but then also that impact.
Well, yeah. And that exactly is what I thought we would talk about today. And I don't know if this is something that we can really, it's not going to be like, hey, just do this, right? These are the steps you take to like make your music school into like this amazing place and like leave a lasting legacy. It's, I mean, I think there was something inherent with just who Greg was and his authenticity and like how he somehow managed to pour that into his school, so much so that it inspired everyone involved to do the same.
Yep.
And that's how he created this lasting legacy. And like, did he do it on purpose? I can't imagine it was something that was like strategic,
right?
But what I do think it was, and maybe this is the strategic part, is I think he just knew who he was and he acted in a way that was just that authentic. And there was no question about that authenticity, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
Like, so much
That
so that, like, again, because going back to, well, what would happen with my school if, I couldn't run it tomorrow or if I was gone or
Mhm.
whatever? I'm gonna try not to cry here because I, like, was brought to tears when I saw Greg called him his wingman. Billy Gardner is, like, one of his guitar instructors, he started the school with him, like, since day one. He shared a picture of him and Greg, and he said, "Don't worry, Greg, I got this."
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
Right? And that's
Yeah.
and that's the kind of thing where, like, someone else to kinda sweep in and, like,
Mhm.
the Greg had to have given Billy this sense that, like, "I can do this." Right?
Mhm.
These are huge
Yeah.
shoes to fill, but I'm ready to do this because everything's already in place.
Yeah.
How we run things, how we do things. It's just a matter of, like, keeping that going.
And Billy recognizes that this thing is bigger than Greg, right?
Mhm.
And that it can't go away just because Greg's not there,
Right.
right?
And yeah,
He's taking it up because he knows how important it is. That is powerful.
right. Okay, so I think the theme then for the conversation is purpose,
Mhm.
right? I think that's, like, the all-encompassing theme here on, like, creating a legacy with what you do it's like, and it's gonna be different for everyone. I mean, for me, like, I connect with what Greg's doing because I'm doing something similar, but for any other studio, it's about, like, well, what really is your purpose, and how do you embody that in, like, everything you do? So, I mean, I had a few, like, conversation starters, some points that I thought
Mhm.
we could kinda riff on, but the first one is legacy is built from operating with purpose. Again, that theme of purpose. And kind of referencing back to Greg, I think it's gotta be like those daily decisions that you make are just all focused on this this is what we do, right? It's
Mhm.
just what we do, and this is how we do it. And that authenticity. I don't know, thoughts?
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I think it's James Clear that says, maybe, don't quote me, but every decision you make or every action you take is a vote for the kind of person that you want to be. I
Mm,
really like that personally.
okay.
So, relating it to the studio, every decision you make, right, is a vote, is impacting who who you are, your purpose, your culture, what you are creating, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, those daily decisions being made with intention. You keep saying authenticity too, and I think that's really key to all of this.
Mhm.
That's Greg was very authentic, and as you said, it we're not all doing things the same way because our authentic selves are all different. But as
Yeah.
long as you are being authentic, then then that then you'll thrive. I mean, I really believe that, being your authentic self.
What's strange about this to me in thinking about, like, I mean, clearly it's doable, right? To create, I mean, we run businesses, right? To
Yeah.
create a business, maybe it's not creating a business that it is the legacy. Maybe it's like the culture. Maybe that's the key because, like, in trying to figure out how we were going to run this episode, I
Mhm.
was like, oh, well, let me do a little searching on, like, maybe better known businesses that have created these legacies. And, like, some of them came, like, I looked at some of them,
Mhm.
and it's like this healthcare company. It's like the closest I found of, like, just lists of these are the businesses that have, implemented strong cultures and put legacy first and blah, blah, blah. It just all seems not authentic.
Yeah, sure.
Because it feels so businessy.
Mhm.
Patagonia was the only one that I was like, yeah, maybe. Because, I mean, Patagonia's got this history of like foregoing certain aspects of profitability for like environmental pursuits. So, I mean, there's something there.
Cool. Yeah.
I recently listened to a podcast that talked with the folks. You probably don't know Diodario. They're like a string manufacturer. They do a lot of like music accessories. Like I think they're into drum heads now, and as they've diversified. But Diodario is a guitar string manufacturer that started making guitar strings over 100 years ago. And it's a family-run business, and it's still a family-run business today.
Cool.
And there's this succession plan for, okay, like when this generation is in charge of the company and they're done, then the next generation. And like that I can see that is leaving a legacy.
Mhm.
They in that, I think it was in the podcast. Hold on, let me look in my notes here. Oh yeah, here it is. Diodario treats the company as something that they are temporarily responsible for, not something to extract from.
Mm.
And that mindset is rare and very teachable. That might not be right. I don't think that I might have typoed that.
Mhm.
That mindset is rare. I don't know if it's teachable.
Yeah.
Maybe it's teachable. I don't know. But the idea of like I don't own this thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like steering the ship.
It's
That
bigger than me,
yeah.
than just me, and when I'm not at the helm, someone else will take it up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, like I'm all about I'm all about kind of creating experiences and like doing these things with our students that are going to create an impact. But I have also in my notes, Greg didn't create impact because he talked about making an impact. He created a school and culture where the impact became the inevitable result.
Mhm.
Like it's such a fine line, right?
Right.
I mean, it's one of those things where, and this again comes back to purpose and authenticity. It's like you can't force being impactful,
Right.
I think, right? It's just like
Mhm.
it really is about like real connection, you know?
Mhm. Yep. It's born of that authenticity, that connection, that drive to create something outside of you for others, right?
There you go.
Yeah,
For others.
for
I mean,
others.
that trails into like these thoughts of, you know, a purposeful existence, right? And like being in service of people. And then, you know, the return sort of naturally comes. It takes a lot of faith to do that,
Yep.
right? To
Mhm.
just say, like, I'm going to do this because I believe it's what I should do. And I'm going to trust that I'm going to reap the benefits over time, whenever, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
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 I also know that Greg welcomed, I mean, he said this on the podcast when he was on. He welcomed feedback from his instructors on like if they have ideas for events or shows and like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
come to me and talk to me. So
Yep. He was very open, and, I mean, he had, I wanna say, multiple instructors that were with him for a decade or maybe
yeah, I
more.
think so.
Like, that retention says a lot too about the culture that he built there.
Yeah. All right. How about this one? Another one of my bullet point notes that we can maybe riff on. Community impact beyond building and growing a business. And then I posed the question, what does it mean for us as music school owners and how does this show up? Right? Especially in Greg's passing. Like Greg's school,
Mhm.
for sure. I can say this without question. It was like a second home for
Mhm.
a lot of his students, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
Right? definitely like this. How do you but how do you do that? How do you just be like, oh, I want people to, you can't force it. I want people to
Yeah.
think of this place as like a second home.
Yeah. Well, he always loved music. He wanted to be a rock star, right? He was a
Yes.
musician.
Yeah.
He was a musician first before he opened the school, and I think that was part of his authentic self, was like, I have this thing that is so fun and so cool, and you're going to love it, and it's going to bring people together, and and he opened the doors to them. So it wasn't, okay, I'm going to open this school and I need this many students for profitability. And how am I going to make it a place that they will be fun? Should I get a foosball table? Or,
Mhm.
it wasn't that. It was, this is a really cool thing. I need to
Right.
open the doors. And yeah. And
That's
again, it's infectious. He was spreading that musical joy.
I love that point. And I've got an arcade machine at mine.
Yes.
But you made the point, which is like, it's not just because you get a foosball table and then all of a sudden, like, and I think about this with my own school a lot. This, like doing that thing, music, like we do this, like I've always done it, like Greg's always done it. That is the thing that it's the glue that kind of keeps it together. That is the fun thing, right? So
Yes.
not being patronizing with our students and saying like, well, this is what you got to do. Just come do this thing with me.
Yeah.
Come do this thing with me and these other kids.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
We're going to make something. We're making something. And then we're going to go into our community and we're going to share that thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I had another note, advocating for music, live music, playing with others locally. It's like this grassroots advocacy, right? That's something that Greg did. It's something that I like to do. And the people being grounded in your school, that creates that cultural anchor. You are no longer just this service provider of music lessons.
Mm-hmm.
That is, that's the vehicle, right? That is the vehicle you're using to make this greater cultural connection with people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I got one more.
Oh,
You all
okay.
right?
Yeah, man.
This is heavy.
It's really heavy. It's really heavy. It's also like so beautiful at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what he did was really beautiful.
Oh, don't cry. If you cry, I'm going to cry. Oh, deep breath. Okay.
Yeah. Got it.
All right.
Next point.
Okay. Can we prepare our schools to continue without us? Is it even possible?
Yes. Short answer. Yes, it's possible. I mean, I believe in that, and I hope for that with
Okay.
QC Rock School, right?
Yeah.
And clearly there's an effort already being made for that. In my school, in my life, I don't know. I feel like maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I do so. I mean, this is me. This is just personally, like I do a lot of the teaching. Other
Mm-hmm.
people would have to, take up the reins.
Well, and to be clear about this, I'm not saying this is for everyone, right? This is
Yeah.
but just, is creating a legacy important, right?
Mm.
Here's my distinction between, I'm going to make two distinctions in around that question. Can we prepare our schools to continue without us? I think the can we from the business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course it's possible because we see that with businesses all the time. But what that really is from the owner's perspective is that's an exit strategy.
Right.
And like in the business world, that's like kind of this sexy term. Oh, well, I'm going to set up my systems and my processes so that this thing can run without me. And then I can go off and do these other things, or like I can sell the business or whatever. And that's this optional thing, right? But I think with that mindset of the exit strategy also comes a little bit of like, I don't care what happens after I exit.
Right.
So that's one aspect of this, but that's not what we're talking about.
No.
At all with this.
No.
This is about like that deeper thing. Because like systems can keep things running in your absence.
Yes.
Legacy involves more. It means, and again, we've mentioned this already, but it's the culture and the mission that also continue, right?
Yeah.
Like Billy, who's running QC Rock Academy now, I mean, the day-to-day, like the paying the bills and that kind of stuff and the scheduling and all that other stuff, all right, that's in his lap. But like that alone isn't going to keep the culture running. And like, I trust that like Billy gets that,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the people that take the helm need to, I mean, Billy was part of that culture. I do trust that too. I mean, he's gonna, keep doing the good work that Greg was doing. I also think that when you're established, it's the community keeps it going too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you've established that really strong community, they keep it going. It's there.
Right.
Already.
And going back to what you were saying about the amount of just like support after the fact, and like again the like the news stories, like many, not just like, oh hey, this thing happened, right?
Yeah.
And our community lost this person. Just multiple news stories and like this benefit. I know there's a benefit concert coming up in a couple of weeks. He did it. I mean, like no one wants it to go this way, but it's pretty amazing that like, yes, the community recognizes like, well, this is what we're supposed to do now. And this is what we've always done. And this is what we're going to continue to do. Whew.
Yeah. Like I said, that's really beautiful. That's very powerful.
Well, this was a rough one in so many ways. Man, I'm going to miss Greg. I am.
Yeah.
So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. And you know what? I do though. I want to, our hearts go out to his wife and kids and that community too. I have to say, gotta say that.
Yeah.
Thinking about them during this really tough time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. On that, we'll wrap it up. Right.
All right. See you next time.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, John.
If you have topic suggestions or questions, please contact us at info@rockschoolproprietor.com. We'd love to hear from you and hear suggestions for future shows. We've put together some free resources for teachers and studio owners over at rockschoolproprietor.com and a private Facebook group called The Modern Music School. Please join us over there. On social, I'm at rock.school.proprietor on Instagram and John Kozicki on both LinkedIn and Blue Sky. Your ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts and Spotify are always appreciated. And if you enjoyed the show and gain insight from our conversation, then we count that as a win. All we ask in return is that you pay it forward and please share the show with someone you think needs to hear it.